Hi kids, welcome to this very special yoga session just for kids. I know a lot of you have been at home, stuck at home like I have, and you've probably had moms and dads that are working and busy, and maybe you're also feeling a little bit stressed. And watching mom and dad sometimes take some time to do yoga, maybe thinking that you'd like to give it a try. So today's session is just for you. So we're going to start off by doing a little bit of breathing. So you may be thinking that's a bit weird because I breathe all the time. But I don't think you ever really think about your breathing. Especially when you get angry or sad or mad. I know that sometimes when I get mad, I hold my breath. And this is not a really good thing to do because it's not a great place from where we can make decisions. So how about we start off by just focusing on the breath and doing a couple of breathing exercises. So you can grab a yoga mat or a towel or whatever you have at home and come and join me. So let's sit on our mat. You can sit on your legs with your knees bent like this, or you can just sit with your legs crossed like this. So let's begin by interlacing our fingers. So grabbing all the fingers together, and then we're going to send the four fingers out. So kind of like you've got a little gun. And then we're going to use what's called the candle breath. So we inhale through the nose, and then as we exhale, we blow. Very long and very hard, we blow out our candle. So inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, blowing out your candle. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, blow out your candle. Let's do a few more. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, blow out your candle. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, blow out the candle. Last breath, inhale through the nose. And then just allow your hands to drift down. And I'm sure just by bringing your focus to the breath, you're already feeling a little bit better. So there's another breathing technique that I've been taught, which is called the bunny breath. So when you're feeling a little bit sad or you have a big emotion to deal with and you feel like you're not quite sure how to handle that emotion, you can try the bunny breath. Now the bunny, and I'm sure all of you know what bunnies look like, they're these little things that have very cute noses and whiskers, and they like to twitch their noses. So when we do the bunny breath, we take 3 little inhalations through the nose, and then exhale and sigh it out. Let's try this together. 3 breaths through the nose, sigh out through the mouth. 3 breaths through the nose. Let's do one last one. 3 breaths through the nose. Don't know if you can hear a little noise in the room. My doggy is lying right in the corner there. Come here, girl. Come on. Come, Zuri. Come here. She wants to come and say hi to all of you. There she is. There she is. She doesn't really like it when I breathe very loud. So, thank you for doing the candle breath with me. So, that's what we've done first. This is going to help you to calm and to focus. So, the same with your bunny breath. So, just to remind you about bunny breath, 3 little sniffs in through the nose. and breathe out through the mouth. So let's begin our little yoga session. We're going to start with our legs crossed. And this in yoga is called easy pose. So I'm not sure if you can see my cards, but this is called easy pose. You sit with your legs crossed comfortably and rest your hands in your lap. We can take a couple of breaths here, inhaling again through the nose. And as we exhale, say, ah. And inhale again. Ah. Let's do one more. Big inhale through the nose. Ah. Very nice. I'm sure you're feeling a little bit loosened up now. Let's go into our next shape, which is called child's pose. So if you can see my card, let's come into child's pose, where we're going to become like a little rock. So come onto your knees, drop your bum down to your heels, and then lower your head down onto the ground. Wrap your arms around your body to touch your feet and become a little stone. You can take a few deep breaths here too. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale, sighing it out through the mouth. Taking a few more big breaths here. And then we're going to take our next, or from here, what we're going to do is pretend to be a little seed. And we're lying under the ground as little seeds. And somebody's going to come and trickle some water all the way onto the soil above us. And it's going to start to make us want to grow up into a big tree. So let's come down and begin to imagine somebody throwing or trickling water over your little seed pod. And then we're gently going to start to grow and start to reach out through the soil and start to send our little branches up as we start to raise up, coming into standing and raising higher and higher and higher. And then we're going to bring one leg in up high, so you can have the leg either down here if your balance is a bit wobbly, or you can have the leg high up into the thigh and then raise your hands up nice and tall, becoming a giant big tree. Wow, look at those trees. And then the wind is going to come and blow and blow, and it's going to blow so hard that your tree is going to wobble and fall all the way back down to the ground and drop back into your tiny little seed. So we once again a little seed. Someone's going to come and place some water on your back, and you're going to begin to grow once more. So beginning to grow taller and taller, taller and taller until you come up into standing. This time we're going to take the other leg and place that into the inner thigh and allow the hands to go up once more, so you become a big giant tree. And you can ring your bells if you have bells. And the wind's coming once more, and we're going to have to drop down onto the floor and come back into our child's pose, little seed. So the two poses that we did was child's pose, which you can see here, and then we did tree pose. So well done for doing tree pose. This pose is really good to help with your balance. So the next pose we're going to do is called mountain pose. Here we're going to stand up tall and strong with our arms next to our sides and our feet rooting down into the ground. So let's stand up and begin to stand like a mountain. So feet are pressing down into the mat, hands are beside the body, and you can close your eyes for a couple of minutes. And from here we're going to do a little sequence. It's really important to notice the things that you say to yourself. So if you say negative things or bad things, then we feel bad. But if we say really positive things or good things to ourselves, we feel really good. So let's begin by standing in what is called star pose. So when you stand in star pose, you reach your hands out to the side, legs come out, and you can shout, "I am bright." So you have a go. I am bright. And then from here we can turn around and draw the arms in towards the body and say, "I am strong." Now you have a turn. I am strong. Very good. And now we're going to raise up off the back leg, reach the arms forward and say, "I am balanced." Oops. I am balanced. And then you're going to step back to the front of your mat, bring your hands over your heart and say, "I am kind." So you have a turn, I am kind. And then finally we're going to jump out like a volcano and shout, "I am me." So you have a turn, I am me. Yes. Right. Now let's try it again, doing it on the other side. So starting off in star. I am bright. I am strong. I am balanced. I am kind. I am me. So there you go. Well done. That was really lovely. The next posture we're going to do is eagle pose, or called eagle pose. This is a bit of a tricky one and you need some balance for this pose too. So what you do is you start to bend through the knees, bring your leg over, and then you're going to twist your arms around. So this is called eagle pose. Let's see if everyone can balance here. Whoa, whoa, I'm feeling a bit wobbly. Okay, and we can gently come out. Give your hands and feet a little shake. Let's try it on the other side. So eagle pose now on the other side. There you go. There you go. Ready? Whoa. It's nice to balance in eagle pose. I can see wobbly eagles. Oh, there you go. And you can come out of eagle pose. So just to show you, there's eagle pose. So this is really good for balancing and also for having a good stretch. So we've done this one before, star pose. Let's take star pose. Start by standing in your mountain pose and then bring the legs out and arms out and really reach them out. Create the shape of a giant star with your body. A couple of breaths. And then from here, we're going to go into triangle pose. You're going to turn one of your feet towards the front of your mat, and we're going to reach over and drop the arm, coming into triangle pose. You gaze up at your hand, take a few breaths. You can rest your hand on your shin, gazing up at the hand. Let's take a few breaths here, remembering breathing in through the nose and sighing out through the mouth. Let's take one more breath here and then come back up into star pose. And then let's go over to the other side. So now turning around to face the other way, dropping your hand down and raising up the other arm. Both legs are straight, coming into triangle once more. Hold onto the shin, gaze up at the hand, couple of breaths. And then draw yourself back up into star pose. Very nice. Drop your hands down. Let's see. Our next pose is called gate pose. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. So if you can see, this is really good for balancing, strengthening and stretching. So we start off on our knees and then we're going to send one foot out to the side of the mat. We're going to slide one hand down, raise up your left arm and then gently begin to reach over your extended leg. Let's take some big breaths here. Last big breath, and then let's gently go to the other side. Coming back onto both knees, let's extend the other leg out, and we're going to slide the left arm down, reach the right hand up and over to stretch. Take some deep breaths here. One more breath. And then gently come out of your gate pose. So, next pose we're going to do is called tabletop. So, let's come onto the knees and drop the hands down. So the hands are under the shoulders and the knees are under the hips. So from table pose, you see you're creating a nice little table on your back. Mummy and Daddy can place their tray of teacups on your back now. From here, we're going to do what is called cat and cow. So when we do cow, we drop the belly down, we look forward and we say moo. And then when we draw up the back and gaze towards the knees, we say meow, because we're now in cat pose. Drop the belly, gaze forward, moo. Gaze to the navel, meow. Drop the belly, gaze forward, moo. Cow pose. And then draw up the spine, gaze to the navel, meow. Let's do a last one together. Drop belly, gaze forward, moo. Gaze to navel, draw up spine, meow. And then just come back to the mat. We're going to take the next shape, which is called downward dog. So I'm sure you've seen dogs do this sometimes when they take a big stretch. So let's give it a try. So you're in your tabletop pose. And you're going to tuck your toes under, press into your hands and raise up. So you're like a pyramid shape. Let's take a few deep breaths here in downward dog pose. A few more breaths. You can look at your knees. It's kind of like half being upside down. Last big breath. And then exhale, drop your knees down to the mat. We're coming into our next shape, which is called butterfly. So come back down, sitting on your bum, bring your feet together, and then we're going to grab hold of the toes here. And we're creating a butterfly. And now we're going to begin to flap the butterfly wings. So flap, 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 flap. Flapping butterfly wings. There you go, butterfly. It's really good to help you to stretch. Continue to breathe and flap your wings. Keep going. Look at all these butterflies. Flap, flap, flapping. And then after one more breath, let's gently come to our next shape, which is called frog. And I'm sure you all know what frogs are. So we come into a squat. Bring the hands down in front of your body. And we're going to jump up and down like a frog. And each time we're going to say, ribbit, ribbit. Come on, join me. Ribbit, ribbit. This is frog. A few more. Ribbit, ribbit. I'm sure you're jumping all around your living room now in your frog pose. Let's do 2 more. Ribbit. Last one. Ribbit. There you go. Well done. The next pose we're going to do is a little bit tricky. So just remember that whenever you do yoga, you listen to your body. So if anything hurts, you just back off. This one is called camel pose. So this is really good for opening up and flexing through the back. So you stay on your knees. You can tuck your toes. You can either just bring your hands behind your back and look up to the sky, or you can take it a little bit further and bring both hands behind you. So let's draw the hands back and grab hold of the feet and gaze up to the sky. Couple of big breaths here. Camel pose. If anything hurts while you're there, you can always just come out and take the mini baby camel. A couple of breaths. And then gently come out. We're going to take a couple more poses on the ground. This next one is called cricket. So I'm sure you all know what crickets are. They're those noisy things that make a funny sound when they jump around outside in the garden. So we're going to do the same. We're going to lie down on the back and we're going to rub the feet and the hands together. Can you hear the sound? So this is what crickets do. They rub their feet together and they make a sound. So that's cricket pose or cricket shape. And then we're going to take the next one, which is called bridge pose. So hope you can see this one. So bring your feet back down onto the mat. And when you're ready, we're going to create a little tunnel under our backs. So take a deep breath and then raise your bum all the way up to the sky or to the ceiling, and bring your hands down underneath and press up even higher. So you can imagine you creating a little bridge here for all your toys or your cars to go under. Taking a few big breaths into your belly. Squeeze your bum, raise up high. Few more breaths. Maybe you'll see your belly rising and falling. Let's see if you can squeeze up just a bit higher for 2 more breaths. And then gently roll the spine out, 1 vertebra at a time. Hug the knees into the chest. Gently rock from side to side. Feeling nice and relaxed now. We're coming into the second last of our postures, which is called boat pose. So you should ask Mummy and Daddy to challenge you on this pose and see who can stay in this one the longest. So let's give it a try. So boat pose, you can begin by having your knees hugged in towards your chest. And then as you exhale, you raise up the legs and you flex your toes up to the ceiling. Send your arms out and hold. And just breathe and breathe and breathe. And get Mommy and Daddy to come and join you and have a little competition and see who can stay here the longest. My bet is that you can. Keep breathing. Big deep breaths. Keep going if you can. Maybe even pause this video and keep going for longer. Taking 2 more breaths. And then gently drop your feet down. We're coming into the last of our shapes, which is called Happy Baby. So for this one, we're going to come down on the mat. We're going to raise the soles of the feet up to face the sky or the ceiling. And then you're going to grab hold of either your ankles or the soles of your feet or your toes, wherever you can reach, and just draw those knees down into the ground, taking a lovely stretch. And then while you're here, just think back to when you were little, and maybe you remember that you used to love being a happy baby. So take a few breaths with your eyes closed and think back to that time. At the same time, you can even practice your bunny breath. Let's take 2 rounds of bunny breath. 3 little sniffs in through the nose. Sigh out through the mouth. 3 little sniffs in through the nose. And then we can gently come out and rock up. So the very last thing we always do in yoga is we take a little bit of time to rest and relax. So we're going to do this particular one, which is called Mummy's Arms. So you're going to lie down. You're going to lie on your back with your feet not next to each other, but a little bit away from one another. And then you're going to take your arms and wrap them around yourself. So almost like you're giving yourself a hug. And then just stay here for a little while. Focusing again on your breathing. This time we can start to breathe in and out through the nose. Close your eyes. Just allow yourself a little moment, giving yourself a hug, remembering to be kind to yourself and to all the people in your family. Let's cross the arms over the other way. So if one arm was on top the last time, let's switch them around and hold on once more for another last few breaths. And now you can gently take your arms, grab hold of your knees, draw them into your chest. Gently begin to roll back and forth until you come up into a seated pose. You can join your hands together here, as though you're joining hands in prayer. Bring them into your heart center. Allow them to touch your chest. Take a big inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, bow your nose down to touch your fingers. And just remember, as you move through the day, to keep breathing, to keep being kind, and to not be afraid. And if you are, just remember the bunny breath. Bye-bye.